Hey everybody, welcome to the first edition or the first episode of PhiloMath Nation, your POV blog for pretty much anything and everything that I'd like to talk about. So I thought today being the 5th of September, which is also Teachers' Day in India, it'd be good to start with probably a tribute to one of my favorite human beings, who also happens to have influenced me indirectly. So to a large extent, I would consider him to be a teacher of mine. So, firstly, happy Teachers' Day to everybody who's a teacher in some form or art subject, who's empowering people to get better. Thank you for everything you do. The teaching profession is one of the most understated and undermined professions in a highly capitalistic society today. But yeah, I don't want to get into that conversation. That's probably for another vlog. But for today, I'd like to talk about one of the greater influences of my life, none other than Arsene Charles Ernest Wenger, or as we call him, Arsene Wenger, who is the former coach or manager of Arsenal Football Club. And full disclosure, I am an Arsenal supporter. Sorry, Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool, and Manchester United fans. You can choose to continue watching, or you can choose to move on to your own choices. But I am a bona fide Arsenal supporter. It's one of the greatest influences of my life. And I pretty much grew up watching Arsene Wenger run the affairs at Arsenal Football Club. From the time I started watching sometime in the early 2000s or probably late 1999. So Arsene Wenger, where do I start? I mean, there's so much to talk about the man. A great influence, a lovely human being, phenomenally kind, exceptionally classy, highly dignified, very respectful, and highly empathetic. I think that's something which we don't give credit to a lot of people in this time and age in terms of the levels of empathy they carry. So Arsene Wenger, as many football fans would know, has had a phenomenal influence on the life of a lot of football fans, and also on a lot of football players. So right from the great George Weah, the Liberian footballer who was the first African to win the FIFA World Player of the Year award back, I believe, in the year 1995. I could be wrong about the year. As I've gotten older, I'm not very clear in terms of the years. I don't remember them very clearly, but I think it was 95. And George Weah was picked up by Arsene Wenger and literally turned into the best player in the world. And of course, those who follow politics, geopolitics, would know that George Weah went on to become the president of Liberia. So that's a testament to the capabilities of the man. But on the football field, of course, I never got a chance to watch George Weah live, but from whatever I've seen, he's been a phenomenal footballer. From the YouTube clips that I've got a chance to analyze and watch, exceptional feet, tremendously fast, and great dribbler, phenomenal finisher. So of course, this is about Arsene Wenger. So George Weah, back when he won the FIFA World Player of the Year as the first African to ever win so, he called Arsene Wenger onto the stage and and pretty much dedicated the award to Arsene Wenger, stating he is the reason for everything George Weah went on to pick up. For those of you who are interested, I'm sure you can find the clip on YouTube. I'll see if I can pin that as a link in my video that I upload. But that pretty much is one of the earliest memories of the capabilities of Arsene Wenger before he came to Arsenal. And he came to Arsenal as a so-called nobody, because he had achieved enough at Monaco, but typical media narratives were very profound. I do remember the Evening Standard in 1996, when Arsenal signed Arsene Wenger, came up with a very arrogant headline, stating Arsene who. It's funny because I don't think that headline ever mattered after that, because he went on to prove Arsene who and what he is, and the phenomenal success he achieved as a coach. So besides all the great virtues of the man as a coach, as a manager, as a football administrator, because he had exceptional control over one of the biggest football clubs in the world. Throughout the time, still kept himself firmly rooted to the floor, grounded to the floor. And maybe as I'm driving, I just realized that maybe I just shouldn't stop talking about Arsene Wenger with just this one point of view drive. Probably I should pick up anecdotes, pick up scenarios and events which happened, which kind of establishes why Arsene is such a phenomenal human being. Yes, I'm biased, I don't deny it, towards Arsene Wenger. For a very long period, when he was in charge of Arsenal Football Club, he continued defending his control over the club, his running of the club, and I had my reasons to do so. It's probably a topic for another day. But of course, I also acknowledge the fact that he wasn't perfect. But just through the various things I've heard about football players who come from very humble beginnings, from very humble countries and nations, who've gone on to become superstars, what they've had to say about Arsene Wenger. I mean, I remember there's one of this incidents. I think it involved Emmanuel Petit, I think it was Emmanuel Petit, I could be wrong, where I think Emmanuel Petit had some sort of a tragic incident in his family, with the demise of a family member. I don't want to go into the specifics because I don't clearly remember what it was. But at the time, I think this was right after the World Cup, the 1998 World Cup, and Petty talks about the kindness Arsene Wenger showed during that time to him. The extreme level of humanity and compassion he showered him with. When you read through what he had to say, Petty, about Arsene, it just is. It brings tears to your eyes in terms of how a human being can be so exceptionally compassionate at that level. Extraordinary leadership. I really thank my stars for having supported Arsenal Football Club through his time as the manager. So yeah, I guess there's a lot more to talk about Arsene Wenger, and probably I will create this as a it's an endless book of what the man has done for people in general. I don't want to get into the artistic brilliance of how he viewed football. Football is an art. To me, it's an art. As someone who's watched football right from the 1998, when I was 8 years old, the 98 World Cup being my first ever foray into football. I definitely think it's an art, and I will talk about why it's an art, but I want to keep it as a conversation for another day. But yeah, as I cross Windsor Manor Bridge now, I would like to end this vlog, and I'd like to thank Arsene Wenger for being an exceptional human being and shaping who I am as a person, through whom I've learned a lot in terms of the person I'd like to be, the way I want to treat other people, the way I'd like to be treated, and just the general sense of pursuit of excellence, finding beauty in the most smallest of things. It's massive, and yeah, like I said, I would like to continue talking about him, but I will probably do it as a series of short clips, but yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and I appreciate you watching, and hopefully I'll be able to bring out more conversations. I don't know how frequent and how consistent I can be, but I'll try to do my best, because like I said, as my channel name goes by, PhiloMath Nation is meant to dissipate, I don't know if dissipate is the right word, but shared knowledge. Let me keep it simple, right? Shared knowledge about things that people would generally miss, and also share facts and truth, right? It can be about anything. It can be current affairs, geopolitics, sports, finance, economics, anything. I just want to talk. I want to share my perspective to the world, and yeah, I hope I can make this a lot more useful and a lot more what do you say, intuitive and interesting to watch. But today I'm actually on my way to the doctor because I have a massive throat infection, so I'm not in my best shape. So yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time, everybody. And like I said, my introduction is going to be sequential. I'll talk more about myself and talk about a lot of other things. So until next time, stay tuned. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.